over there and over here
Recording
and
in
over
progress.
here. Rightio. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Aussie End Zone. We are joined by the usual fuglies. We got Viking over there. We got Manjot the Myth over somewhere, and we've got Cowboy. So we're doing our preview of week. Is it 15 or 14? Because fuck,
15.
Jeez, we're getting close to playoffs. Fuck. Right.
Yeah.
So I may as well cover the
week.
Packers game first, and then let the rest of you have a shit show. I'm kidding. So Packers.
Well, I'm last. I'm last anyway, so we're going to be last.
Easy as. Packers Ravens at Ravens. I think it's a shoe-in for the Packers, but not an easy win at the same time. There's so many Packers fans and pundits in general that are like, oh, Packers by 17, maybe 21. I'm like, nah. I reckon Packers by 7 to 10. We're on a bit of form. We've clinched the first seed, but only just like we've got to keep winning to keep that seed because we've got the Bucks and the Cards trailing right up, like under us, wanting to take that number one seed. So I just think, I don't know why, but I think we've got the win because going in after the following week, I think we play the Vikings after that. Or I may be wrong, but we'll be ready to fuck up the Vikings
Browns.
when they come down. Oh, we've got the Browns. Cool. So we'll be definitely ready to lay a big hot brown steamer on them, and before we go trailing into fucking up the Vikings just before playoffs with our week off into playoffs, hopefully, because we'll have the first seed. Anyway, there's not really much to say about the preview, but I think Packers by 7 to 10 points. And we've got a few names, back. JR, I can't remember his last name. He's come back to the active roster. So thank you, J. Alexander. I'm just brain fighting right now, trying to smash through this episode. But J. Alexander has come back from and is active on the roster. And also, big shout out to Kurt Benkert, taking over, I think, is 1,300 and something days, so close to 4 to 5 years, to not put on a jersey to play. And then Aaron Rodgers, as much as I put shit on him, he was so selfless in the winning drive. He gave Kurt Benkert that winning drive plays in the last game. I know I should have mentioned it last episode, but that's a very touching, thing to let him get some foot on the field. It was wonderful and very touching to see. But that's enough of the Packers preview because, I'm sure you guys are
R.I.P. Lamar.
At hearing
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be. I don't know. I think bigger score, man.
You
I
reckon?
think you're giving it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're possibly going to be without Lamar, so it's going to be Tyler Huntley against Devondre Campbell.
Well, I mean, if it's without Lamar, then I reckon 21 plus. But but it's at again Ravens, and I mean, don't underestimate getting.
Oh, you
crowd
can't underestimate it. Tyler Huntley played great last week, but
he did.
He beat the Bears.
I think without Lamar, and they've been. They kind of hide away all of their running game because Lamar's always there, so they never get a chance anyway. So unless they find a way to unlock that with Huntley behind center, then I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I do agree with that. What are your thoughts on that? Let's go Cowboy with your thoughts on that.
On that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be close. I think if Lamar looks like he's going to be out, I think like Tomo said, he disguises so much of their inefficiencies with his ability. He's a one read passer. He's got one read. If it's not there, he takes off. But he's so dynamic that if he's not there, the offense is pretty stagnant.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be the big thing. With Lamar, it's going to be a good game. Without Lamar, no. 14 plus, easy.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And so let's then cross over to the 49ers game. So we'll take Manjot, the myth, the legend, and maybe we might see a bit of Rantjot come out. Let's see what happens. Give us your preview for the 49ers game.
Now we got the Falcons this week. I was about to say Vikings, but yeah, Falcons this week at 8:05 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. So that's 4:05 Eastern Time, US. So yeah, the late window. At Levi Stadium, so it's giving me a bit of that 2019 like Falcons vs 49ers game. Like this game just gives me that sort of vibe because like we're coming into that game red hot, and then the Falcons just beat us on the last play of the game, like just a touchdown to Julio Jones. Just a painful memory, I must say. Good. But this time I'm just like. I get it. We beat
with you by now.
Yeah, I get it. We beat both the Packers and the Vikings that year. But this is not 2019. This is 2021. So hopefully this time we get the job done. Like the Falcons have been in a free fall. Like, just like talking to Falcons fans, they've had enough. Like, let me just say, like, they couldn't recover after that. Like, especially that Patriots loss, you know, that was just demoralizing.
Maybe they'll just be hungrier to try and get a win, though.
Yeah, they did beat the Panthers last week, though. I think it was. Yeah, so they've been on a bit of a roll.
Again, I think there the QB's the key
Matt Ryan.
to success. So it's just going to be how Matt Ryan performs on the day. I think depends on how the Falcons play.
Whether he shows up, or we need to play some missing persons report as well.
But also, like, you got to be a bit afraid, I think, of Corradell Patterson as well.
Right.
So he's going to
and Kyle Pitts too.
I was going to say, but then again, you got to think about it this way. They're coming up against a team that we have named an MVP twice, 2 weeks in a row of our picking of Kittle. You've also got Garoppolo. Granted, he's not too hot at the moment, but I think he's on form enough to really fuck up the Falcons. Like,
yeah, absolutely. But the problem with the Falcons are they're a little bit like the Vikings in the way that the offensive stars and players are amazing. On paper, the names are spectacular. But it just depends on whether something links and it works right on the day, whether or not they're going to perform.
Yeah.
So.
Like everything worked well for the Vikings against the Steelers. Sorry to bring that up and to cut you off, Manjo, but everything worked up until like the little bit of a comeback. But the offense was just on all game for the Vikings. So I get what you mean. Sorry, continue, Manjo.
Oh, yeah. I was just about to say Elijah Mitchell might be back for the 49ers. That's a huge in if he's back.
Yeah,
he's been leading our running game all year. And with him, like, our offense is just two-dimensional. Without him, like, our running backs, even though I really love Jeff Wilson Jr., he hasn't been, like, the same as Elijah Mitchell has been. So I think there's a bit of a discrepancy that could be, like, fixed with, like, the addition of Mitchell. And you also have Deebo Samuel coming out of the backfield. So our run game, our pass game, like, this might be a pretty healthy 49ers team.
And they might put on a healthy score on the Falcons then.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
How dynamic is Samuel?
Yeah, so I think the 49ers, I think they'll win by about 10 points, I'd say.
Yep.
I just think that's just the right score.
Points.
10 to 14 around there. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. And let's cross over down across or diagonal, all that jazz, down to Cowboy, who's across in South Australia but down in the panels. And for the Cowboys game, who are they playing? And give us your predictions and all that.
Yeah, cool. So another divisional matchup. This one is on the road against the Giants. The Cowboys come in as double-digit favorites against the pathetic Giants.
Yeah, they really fucking are.
Oh man, this is one of those games.
Season wonders they were when they won it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, know, and they got lucky as with Eli, but yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even with how sad the Cowboys have been playing, they should go in there. They should win convincingly. I think one of the big issues though that they're looking at is, it seems like I say it every week, but his injuries. Cedric Wilson, he's their number 4 receiver, but he just got put on the COVID list, I think today. All pro left tackle Tyron Smith, looks like he's going to be out with ankle injuries. It looks like they're going to try and rest him up for the playoff run. Marcus Pollard, he was a game time decision last week, so he'll probably play this week, but he's probably going to get limited touches. Zeke is Zeke, he's just going to get the ball and run into a wall and get about 2 to 3 yards and then call it good. So injury wise there, the good thing is the defense is looking good. They're playing lights out, lots of turnovers, 4+ turnovers the last 2 games. It's my biggest concern is Dak, to be honest with you. It's obvious something is not right with him in that calf injury. If you look at his stats, before the calf injury and his stats now, 2 completely. I mean, he was arguably in the competition to be MVP in those first 4 games.
Easy.
Yeah. Yep.
But even Jerry Jones has come out this week on a radio interview and said he's in a slump. And I try and ignore Jerry as much as possible. But
who doesn't?
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Even when he hits the nail on the head, something's up.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Exactly. Yeah. So I think Micah Parsons is going to come in. I think on the defense, he's going to have another great game. He's had a sack every game for the last 6 games.
Fuck.
So he's got 12 sacks on the year. The guy is unreal.
Machine.
So
it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think the Giants could cause some issues because their strength, they can run the ball a little bit, especially if Barkley's doing all right. And the Dallas run defense is not that great. They can defend against the pass. Okay. So, that's all Dallas has really, but I still think at the end of the day, Dallas goes in there, they march it up and down the field. I think they're going to probably win it. My prediction, Cowboys 35, Giants 10.
Oh, wow. That's a big score. Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't
big.
even be, I think it'll be bigger than that. I think it'll maybe be a Patriots Falcons level type of score. Like,
oh wow,
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I'd almost go just a shutout, really.
Yeah, honestly, a shutout maybe a shutout all but a field goal maybe, or field goal or two, but shut them out for touchdowns at least.
It's just the Cowboys defense has obviously been the real strong point in the last few weeks, especially. So
that's fair. Yeah, absolutely.
The Giants are just hurting. They're just nowhere.
Yeah, you're right. But I guess I've just been disappointed by the Cowboys so many times. It's just,
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think we've all been there at some point with the teams that we follow. Now let's cross over to Viking or Tomo to give his, preview of the Vikings game.
Yeah, well, Vikings Bears.
They're coming off a big loss, as in the Bears against mighty Packers.
They are. Surprisingly, the Vikings are only at a surprise, actually. So 3.5 favorites early on. So it's not a huge line. But the Vikings obviously have got a bad habit of sort of flying too close to the sun and letting bad oppositions remain in games when they shouldn't be.
Yep.
Vikings are without Darisaw. Well, sorry, not without, but Darisaw, Lynch, and Thielen are all listed as questionable at this point in the week.
No good.
And obviously, it's a Monday night game, so that's probably going to change somewhere around Sunday, I'd say.
Lucky that it's a Monday night because they've got those extra days.
Yeah, that's right. Madison and Westbrook are definitely both out. There are 2 of about 75 players league-wide so far to be on the COVID list.
Shit.
So it's huge this week. I mean, Bears were poor in the run and the pass against the Packers.
They're poor in general.
They were poor in general. I don't know. They were the first couple of quarters.
Offense too.
Oh, the second quarter they were on fire, but that's it.
But they were poor against the run, which sort of bodes well for
Devontae Adams. 2 touchdowns in literally 3 minutes or less, really.
That's right.
So they're shit.
But I mean, against the run being that poor when you got coming up against Cook as well, maybe we might see Cook with another 200-yard game this season.
That would be amazing. Like goosebumps. That'd be great to see.
The funny part about those Devontae Adams, or the Devontae Adams highlight reel this week was watching Jalen Johnson be like a statue in every highlight reel.
Yes.
So he's got to do something this week with Justin Jefferson. Jefferson didn't have a huge game against the Steelers. It's like 7 catches from 15 targets.
Still all right.
That wasn't real great. Yeah, but we've got games against the Rams and then the Packers in the next 2 weeks. So I think they're probably going to try and get his confidence back in his hands a bit more.
Against the Bears, that's easy done.
Yeah. So.
I'm sorry, but the Bears are fucking shit.
Not wrong.
The hard part for the Vikings this week, I think, will be Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn's had an enormous season.
He has.
The 2 sacks he got against Rodgers early on takes him to 14 for the year.
Wow.
So,
insane.
So he's up there, and I think he's got 1+ in each of his last 5 games. So he's pretty on. So the Vikings O-line are going to have to contain him and the likes of Roquan Smith and Burns and Jackson to be able to really make Cousins comfortable, because if they don't make him comfortable behind center there, there's no way he's going to fire up. So that's going to really affect the rest of the game. So.
Hard agree with that.
I would probably be at this point. I mean, you know what I'm like these days with tipping Viking scores. But I'd probably maybe a score, so maybe 7 points.
Oh wow! Compared to the usual 3 points, that's
Compared
a
to
brave
the
call.
3, yes.
Honestly, I think given how, as I say, I think given how the Vikings performed against the Packers, and most recently against the Steelers, I'd be bold enough to even say Vikings by 14 plus. In all honesty,
I don't know. I mean, I can't do it anymore. Every time I've said more than that this season, we've ended up losing a game by a point. Yeah. So I just I can't pick 14 plus with them. It's just too dangerous. I mean, it's tasty. You look at Sportsbet and the prices are really tasty, but it's just like
you don't want to tempt fate.
I may as well just open my front door and throw my wallet out. So.
No, that's fair. Well, that wraps up our preview section, but let's go across the room, panel, whatever, and go with who is our player to watch this week. Honestly, I'll start off by saying mine. It's a Packer. I'm sorry, but it's Davante Adams. Given how well he played last week, and I think if he's going to have another standout game, it'll be against the Ravens. So, you know, be sure to check out the Packers game, even if you're not a Packers fan. And I know Viking won't, though.
I'm not going to pick a Packer, that's for sure.
No, I know. So, Viking, speaking of, who would you pick? And, you know, which player would you be saying is the player to watch this week?
Oh man, it's just so many. I was trying to choose somebody else from one of the other teams.
Yep.
But there are, I don't know, I think the ones that I would pick would probably be on the 49ers, to be honest.
Yep. Kittle, maybe, I reckon.
Maybe, yeah, Kittle was going to be the first pick, I think.
Honorable mention, Kittle for me.
And then probably Garoppolo, because I think that they will. I think that there's going to be a big turn of form for Garoppolo for this week. I think so. Yeah, I think he's got a good chance to have a good game. Either that, he's got a good chance to fuck it up completely. So,
yes, it'll go either way. No in between for him. Fair enough. And what about you, Manjot? Who would be your player or players to watch?
Yeah, I'll go with another 49. I think Devo Samuel.
Yes.
I think I just have the itch. I have the itch that you have like 100 yards, like rushing, 100 yards receiving, like just 200 total yards somehow, some way. Like maybe like 2 or 3 total touchdowns. Like I don't know.
Let's just all pick 49ers so we get a lot of red shot next week. We're going to get a lot of red shot
next week anyway.
Yeah.
If they lose this one, if they lose this one, it could be a 30-minute segment, I think.
Oh, I'm so down for that.
I'm ready.
Okay, and Cowboy, who is your player or players to watch?
Yeah, so I haven't checked the weather report, and I think that'll factor into it. But I really think Justin Herbert, is going to have a big game against the Chiefs. So last time they played him, he lit him up through for 3 or 4 scores, and I think it's going to be a back and forth, a little bit of a barn burner. So I could see him having a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just do a clap to separate this from the pick a player from each person's team. Right, and so that wraps up our preview and our players to watch of the week. But here's the real talk time. Everyone, if you forget what we said earlier, forget it. Just put it in your mind. Get a pillow, get some popcorn, and get ready to listen for the next, I'd say, 10 minutes, because we are going to pick one player from each other's teams to put into our team. It can't be one player from offense, one player from defense. It's got to be just one player from so I've got to pick one from the Vikings, Niners, and Cowboys, and vice versa. So we'll start.
Wait, are we going all 3 teams? Are we?
Yeah. Oh, so you've got exactly. So you could pick a safety from mine. You could pick a this, that, the other. So let's start with Viking.
Oh, you fucking would. Can I go? Can we just go around one at a time so I can get more prepared for this?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Cool.
Okay. So you go your first one.
That's all good. Well, my first one I think would be Nick Bosa. I'd take Nick Bosa from that, because I think if you combine basically Nick Bosa with some of the other parts of the Vikings D line, it becomes very, very, very fun.
Yes.
Can you imagine him lining up alongside Kendricks and Barr and Peterson and and Breland, like
having a field day, really.
Pretty much.
Okay, Manjot, who would be your first pick?
Oh, this is tough, but I think I'd go probably if I'm choosing from the Packers, I'd go with Aaron Rodgers. He's just an elite quarterback. I
Who
think
wouldn't?
that's just the one thing I'm
wouldn't.
like kind of like a bit sketchy on with the 49ers, like is quarterback. That's one of the things that I'm like
Yeah.
always harping on
Absolutely.
about.
You want to know? You want to have a quarterback that you'll know what you're going to get from week in, week out.
Yeah, consistently great. That is what I want.
Oh, I wouldn't
You
say
sure
great.
you
I'd say consistently good.
You sure you wouldn't want to make all Shanahan's dreams come true and take Cousins instead?
Maybe I might. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 9 minutes or 10 minutes left of this Zoom call, so we'll smash this out. Cowboy, who'd be your first pick?
I think I'd take Adams for Green Bay.
Yep.
The guy's just, you can't have too many offensive players, and
That's
and
true.
so
Too
he
many
would just
mouths.
be a beast, and
My
he's
first-
such a dominant force.
Oh, hardcore he is. Hardcore. My first pick would be Kittle. I can't go. We've already picked him twice as MVP the last 2 weeks. I can't go behind. Can't go past Kittle. Viking. Who's your second pick?
Oh man, it gets harder because
It
I
does.
like too many of the players on my offense.
It can
So
be defense. It can be a bloody kicker.
No,
for all
I
I
know.
fucking care.
kicker.
Crosby.
No, any kicker that comes to the Vikings is going to fail.
You're
It
not
doesn't
wrong.
matter who you are.
It's true.
Geez, I think maybe DeGuara from Packers.
Okay.
I think he's probably underutilized on the Packers.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
And in terms of the Vikings, Conklin's great, but I think DeGuara would be an upgrade.
Yeah, fair enough. Manjot, who's your second pick?
Now, constant target of Ranjot segment is obviously the 49ers secondary. Always get on the hit list every single week. So I'm going to take Trayvon Diggs from the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's my pick.
Just
for the
an
next one, yeah.
absolute. He's just an absolute ball hawk, great ball player. People, I think, a bit of Ranjot here, but people hate on.
You got
this
a
dude
minute
too
because
much.
we've only got 8 minutes left, so continue.
Yeah, true. Okay, so people hate on Trayvon Diggs way too much. I think he's great in coverage. I saw that route that he that interception against the Chargers where he just cut off just Keenan Allen. That's a route no one can get except Trayvon Diggs. That's just amazing cornerback play. And I must say, yeah, I'd love him on the 49ers.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, the reality is if you're a Cowboy, you're going to get picked on no matter what. So it's
Who's your second pick, Cowboy? Speaking of,
I'd probably say Debo Samuel. I think that again, the guy's so versatile. He can do anything. He can run. He can catch. All that. I would love to have him on the team.
Yeah, that's fair. My second pick would be Justin Jefferson to pair. Honestly, I think I know it's an offense sort of thing, and I've gone with a defense from 49ers, but as you said, you can never have too many offensive players and offensive options. So Justin Jefferson definitely would be my second pick. Viking, your third and final pick. Go.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I can't believe no one said it yet.
Yep.
So, obvious reasons. Micah Parsons.
Yeah, nice. Manjot, your third pick. Who is it?
Yeah, so I gotta go from the Vikings here. Now I'd probably say
luck.
Dalvin. Now I actually go with Dalvin Cook on this one.
Okay.
I think just an extra, we're talking about weapons, you can never have too many of them. Well, Shanahan, he can never have too many running backs. And Dalvin Cook, an elite running back, top 5 in the NFL. I think perfect fit for the 49ers.
I think he's an upgrade over your current ones.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell is getting up there. He's only a rookie, but he's definitely an upgrade.
Yes. And Cowboy, who's your third and final pick?
Hey, you know what? I think that it's kind of shown, the injuries have shown that we need an all-star backup quarterback. So I'm going Kirk Cousins as my backup quarterback.
Interesting. Yeah. No, that's fair. I love how you say that and don't mention Aaron Rodgers after those words. I'm kidding, but no, that's fair. And my third and final pick would honestly be the same as Vikings. It'd be Micah Parsons. I think quality linebacker, you cannot, even though he's on the Cowboys team, you cannot fault him. He's such a standout. And honestly, that wraps up that. I hope everyone enjoyed that little segment of we didn't have time to think, so it was really fun to go off the cuff. Until next time, I was going to say stay cheesy, but it's now all three. It's now four of us. So let's just go stay fresh, cheese bags.